Hi students, and as you know, this is the second part to our NTA UGC NET Sociology June 2023 paper. If you have not watched the first part of this paper discussion, please go back and watch that. We'll start with question number 15. Who among the following sociologists wrote the book The Religion of India, The Sociology of Hinduism and Buddhism? Starting off with a very easy question. Karl Marx, Max Muller, Max Weber, Bronislaw Malinowski. The answer to this is Max Weber. Number 16. You have to arrange these in order. Arrange the sources of knowledge in order of their usage of performance in social research. Reasoning, sense perception, intuition, authority, disciplinary. So the answer to this is BADC, number 3. Let's match it. How? Because usually we start with the sense perception, right? Our sense perception or our perception. Then we move on to reasoning. After that, we have authority, and then finally intuition. So these are the sources of knowledge when we apply or use that in social research. Question 17. Given below, our reason cannot explain the assertion, right? We can't say that this is explaining or this is correctly explaining what it is mentioned in the first statement or what the assertion is saying. So the answer will be both A and R are correct, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Okay? Because these two both are individually correct. Question 18. What was a key theoretical premise in Edward Said's discussion on Orientalism? Archaeology of knowledge, archaeology of residence, archaeology of marriage, archaeology of power, archaeology of relationships. It's very easy. If you have read about Edward Said's Orientalism, you will be able to definitely answer this. Option 4 is the correct answer, that is archaeology of knowledge and archaeology of power. 19 says, Habermas identified which one of the following types of capitalist societies? So you have to choose from the options given below about the types of capitalist societies which Habermas mentioned. The answer is B, C and E only, because he spoke about liberal capitalism, post-capitalism, okay, and organized capitalism of the Western industrial societies. Next. Conceptually, incest taboo refers to what? It's asking for the definition, or basically it's asking what incest taboo means. The answer is number 3, of course, avoidance of sexual relation of blood kin. Number 21. An aggregate which lacks structure or organization and whose members may be unaware or less aware of their known as quasi-group, peer group, primary group, secondary group. The answer here is quasi-group. And remember that it's related to Ginsberg, Morris Ginsberg and T.B. Bottom. Next is again a very easy question. Explaining the effects of globalization, George Ritzer wrote a book titled Theory of the Leisure, Instinct of Workmanship and the State of Industrial Act, Social Network and Analysis, McDonaldization of Society. The answer is, of course, McDonaldization of Society. This is a very popular work of Ritzer. The meaning of biomedical model. The application of science to medical diagnosis and cure as the main feature of modern healthcare system. Disease defined objectively. Medical care by trained experts. Symptoms experienced by relatives. You have to choose from the correct option. The answer is A, B, C only, which means the first 3 options are correct, but the fourth option is actually referring to a different model, and this particular option is not included in the biomedical model. Okay. Number 24. Who among the following are not associated with hermeneutics? Dilthey, Gadamer, Ricord, Popper, Purcell. Who are not associated? The answer is Purcell and Karl Popper. Why? Because Popper is considered as post-positivist, whereas we talk about Purcell in phenomenology. So option D and E only, number 4, is the appropriate answer here, and these 2 people are not associated with hermeneutics. Number 25. In the maximum calculation of organic composition of capital, which of the following are calculated? Constant capital and surplus value, constant capital and variable capital and profit, profit and surplus value. So you have to look into the organic composition of capital, okay, and the maximum calculation of the same. And the answer to this is constant capital and variable capital. Number 26. This presents authors and books list. There are 4 of them. So let's match this one. A is equal to 2, which means the rules of sociological method is by Durkheim. B is equal to 3, which means the origin of the family, private property and state is by Frederick Engels. C is equal to 4, which means social theory and social structure is by Robert K. Merton. And lastly, Talcott Parsons wrote Structure of social action. All these books are very common, and thus it was an easy question. Again, next is again a repeated previous year question, number 27. World Revolution in Family Patterns was written by whom? William Goody, Sylvia Walby, Betty Friedan, Simone de Beauvoir. The answer is Goody, which means option 1. Number 28. Who amongst the following urges that the major function of religion is to maintain order in society? This again comes from the basic theory of Durkheim. Okay, he was the one who spoke about elementary forms of religious life, and among all the options, Durkheim is the correct answer here. Okay. Number 29. Who among the following sociologists in India applied the theoretical insights of Claude Lévi-Strauss in recognition in Hindu society? List of Indian sociologists comprise of Srinivas, Malcolm Marriott, S.C. Dubey, Veena Das. The answer is Veena Das. Number 30. What causes the change from mechanical solidarity to organic solidarity according to Durkheim? A very important question. Dynamic density, population density, static density, fluctuating density. Now you can make out the answer from the options itself. The answer is number 1, which is dynamic density. Okay, so here we end, and this was part 2 of our question paper discussion. This will be followed by another part, so make sure you watch that as well. Thank you everyone.